And I'm all the way on the left, so I guess I'll begin. Keith, you're in the middle. Cameron and Vicky is on the right. I think that if we're all basically in that order, I think that's good. I'm Dwayne. I am an active log cabin Republican because I believe that inclusion wins, and I am largely supportive of gay rights and an overwhelming, I like to call myself a rainbow warrior for equality and rights for the LGBT community. I buck my own party because I think that it's important sometimes to, in fact, for the most part, to take on the ignorance from within. And I'm not backing down, I'm not giving up, I'm not going away, and I'm not changing my mind. I do this because I am not only comfortable and proud about who I am and think that we are born this way as gay people, but I also do it because I have many friends in different parts of the world, some of them who are watching this video right now or will be watching the recorded version later on tonight, mostly from Romania. And periodically I will translate the high points to this one if no one has any problem. That is my ancestral heritage. I didn't come here until I was 18, and I'm glad to be part of this discussion with good friends and good audience.
Vicky?
Hi everybody, my name is Vicky and I live in the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm really excited because today's football Sunday, so I'm going, oh, the Falcons are playing. I don't like the Falcons, I like the Patriots. So I'm like, Patriots and Eagles are playing, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm got like football in the living room, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn off the TV and focus on it. So in the back of my mind, I'm going, come on, Eagles, come on, Patriots. My father is a male to female transgender, so I kind of grew up not really knowing exactly. Nobody ever explained it to me, you know, and my father made the transition when I was younger, and then that kind of snowballed into a lot of psychological issues that I had because nobody explained it to me, and my father was very abusive to himself, pulled out herself, and so I was dealing with a lot of those issues, and as I went on my journey of healing, I work with youth, I counsel youth and stuff, and I work with a lot of LGBT youth, and my passion is to continue to work with LGBT youth and people, and to make them, all of us, very proud of who we are, what we are, and to live life to the fullest. And
doing really good.
Yeah,
hey, are you busy right now? Can you get on the
I'm very happy and bubbly and smiley and just, yeah.
Good for you.
Oh, dang. We're having there's a new website up that a friend of mine is launching. It's a discussion website, and it uses video camera technology, so we're in like video discussion. And the topic we're on right now is gay rights, and I thought this would be a great topic for you to speak to, because obviously you have the insight that I don't, right? So, and a perspective that I don't. So that's why I immediately thought, hey, I gotta call Dominic. But you're up to shit. You're infected shit. So bye. Hold on, folks. Right now, if you can come right now. And I apologize. I just thought about you. Well, you can take as long as you like. The conversations usually last about an hour. So take hours break.
I'm just reading messages down here. He's like, hurry up, come on. Speed the phone call along. Or have this person join in.
Okay. And log in, use your Facebook login, and join the gay rights conversation. All right, we'll see you when you get here. These guys are getting mad. They're throwing me the finger and all kind of stuff, man. So, I'll see you when you get here. Okay, thanks, Dominic. Bye. I'm sorry. Hey, I wasn't anticipating being in this conversation, Max.
No, we're glad you're here. Can I take 30 seconds now and introduce the two of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Permiteți me să introduc colegii mei Chava, Center Apparati de Fotografia Keith Turner, Illinois. Uniti Statali di Americi.
I'm hearing you.
Vicky Byrne, colleague, camera un durante, apparati di fotografia. You are Atlanta, Georgia, Vicky.
Yes.
Yes, Atlanta, Georgia, United Stati di Americi, fratelli mio. Okay.
Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Keith Turner, live in Waukegan, Illinois. It's about equal distance between Milwaukee and Chicago. I'm a conservative guy, just a guy from the neighborhood. I'm not gay, I'm straight. And really, I just don't get it. Here's my thing. No, really, seriously, Dwayne. I don't care what people do or why,
right.
Who they do it with, if it's consensual and you're an adult. What I don't get is why I need to know about it, because I don't really fucking care. That's the bottom line. I gotta tell you, man, I got so much shit in my own life. I ain't worried about what somebody else is doing. Just don't do a kid, don't do a fucking dog, and don't do a whole thing. Don't rape nobody, and it's all good as far as I'm concerned. Now, but like you, see, I'm a conservative too, Vicky, and so yeah, my conservative friends are like, hey, what you gotta be against? I don't really care, man. Just my whole thing is, you got too much friggin' government bothering about what people are doing. Leave me alone. I don't care. I just don't. And I've got friends like Dominic, who is a neighbor and a friend of mine. Dominic's gay. He and his partner Christian. And they've been together for years. And I go over there and I know a lot of gay people. And I don't stand in judgment because I don't care. I don't fucking care. And I'm not gonna. They try to make me care. And after time, I don't care what you say. I'm not gonna care.
You know what I look forward to?
Just live life and be happy and don't worry about it.
Keith, I look forward to the day when gay people and lesbian people can be open about who they are, run for public office, serve in the government, be able to get married to their partners, and it really is not that big of a deal. I just feel that there are times when we need to bring this out into the open to actually get there. I am a gay Christian man. I have been this way all my life. I feel that we are born this way, and I had that experience backed up and confirmed by some scientific studies that I don't know if either of you have read about from the Liberty Education Forum, but they actually have done some scientific genetic studies and find out that we are not assembled the same way as you, and we're hardwired this way. So I really don't think it's like a lifestyle choice either.
Here's what I don't understand, Dwayne. Why is it important for me to know that? Why is it important to you that I know that you're gay? Because it's certainly not important to me that you know that I'm heterosexual. I don't fucking care.
Right.
Explain that to me.
Well, frankly, I think that, Keith, people like you would be somebody who, if we lived in the same neighborhood, I think that we would be great friends, and I really don't think that this would be an issue between us. No. What our problem is as a community is that we still have problems where we are fighting some rabid anti-gay people who are ignorant, and as far as you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that I have been hit with. I'm not any better than you. I'm just equal to you.
Right.
And the kind of ignorance that we have to basically combat and fight against is basically what coming out is all about. I hear people say all the time that, it's like, well, we don't need a straight pride parade. Being in a gay pride parade is not so much celebrating about being gay as the fact that we are not going to stay hidden in the closet anymore. We want to be treated with the same rights and respect as everyone else. And if you really have never been in a straight pride parade, then I would say, as a Christian man, drop down to your knees and thank God you don't need one. there are. It's not. It's basically not a celebration of necessarily about being gay, as that we are also just part of the human race.
Yeah, but
and there are a lot of us out here.
I get that. Believe me, and I am a big proponent of equality under the law. I think everybody should be equally and exactly the same and all that. And so, as a candidate for public office here in Illinois, one of the big issues, current issue here is gay marriage, right? So everybody's crying about gay marriage, and I'm like, whatever. And I got friends like Dominic. I go to Dominic's house several times a year. We have an annual lobster fest and everything, and a lot of guys over there are gay. And they ask me, say, well, I tell them, I say, hey, I'm running for state representative. Whatever, cut to the chase. How are you going to vote? They didn't want to hear nothing else. And I told them, I said, if I had to cast that vote today, I would vote in favor of it. Because regardless of my beliefs, I don't believe that our religious views should be forced upon other people. That's the bottom line. So
neither do I.
But here
neither do I. I think you and I are on the same page.
Yeah. So I asked my friend Dominic. I said, "Hey, Dominic," and it's really funny because I said, "Dominic, I don't want to talk about it. I want you to pull together a group that will talk with me about it and educate me, right? So I want to hear, I want to learn, I want to understand." And that's why I was so eager.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's why I was eager to join this conversation. So I says, Dominic, don't tell me, but he's telling me all about it. So as I understand, you correct me if I'm wrong. As I understand it, the issue is that with gay marriage is that gays, excuse me, it's gotten warm down here. Gays are not treated the same in terms of family rights, essentially, right? You go to the
That's correct.
Your partner comes in and says, "Hey, I'm Dwayne's partner. I'm Dwayne's husband. I'm Dwayne's wife, whatever." And they say, "Yeah, well, you can't see him, or you can't sign the presentation order and all that kind of stuff unless you got a special." There's
no spousal privilege, tax benefits, or legal protections.
Yes.
Heterosexual couples in this country have approximately 1,104 more rights in their relationships than we do, as well as benefits.
Right. So here's the thing. I look at marriage, and I got to tell you, man, I don't even see where the state gets involved at all in any social contract. My wife. Well,
you and I are agreement on the same page there too, Keith. I'm really disappointed that the government has actually jumped into the marriage business in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said at the beginning. Stay out of my life, man.
Exactly. If the federal government is willing to actually remove those 1,104 rights and leave the definition of marriage to people's church, and we can basically have the same legal protections, as everybody else, I'm happy with that. I think that you're asking to roll back about 200 years of a preferred culture, though, which has basically lobbied rather hard to get politicians into office who would see things their way. And unfortunately, in the process, it has left us out.
Right.
It has left us out of the loop. And, I would tell you that, someday I'm going to be married. I have a supportive church. I know several pastors around Phoenix who would be willing to perform the ceremony. Legally, it's not binding here in Phoenix, but more and more states are jumping on all the time. I guess for the record, if it's two guys, we would call ourselves husband and husband.
Okay, thank you. See, I learned something already. All right, so here's what I don't get. Let me see it like this. All right, so I see marriage as a religious right, R-I-T-E, right? As opposed to
a lot of people do.
As opposed to a civil right, R-I-G-H-T. So and I've said this to Dominic. So what stops me and you from creating whatever legally binding contract between us? Says, hey, if Dwayne gets sick, I get his car. You know, I get that BMW motorcycle. That's what I want, right? I get his motorcycle. Right? So what's the stop? I mean, we can already create that contract. But I just don't get the necessity of and the specificity or whatever around the usage of the word marriage. And then I guess from the other, and again, I'm not all involved in this and knowledgeable about it. From the perspective of the anti-gay marriage people, they're saying that if you legalize gay marriage, then they can force a church to accept and to marry gay. And they don't want to do that.
No.
Hey, look, there's Dominic.
Hi, Dominic. Welcome.
Dominic is my buddy and neighbor. He lives over there in the neighborhood. He's right there in the neighborhood. And thanks for joining. I know you're out doing some work, so thanks for joining me. And Dominic is my go-to guy on all issues gay.
Dominic, can I introduce you to my friends who are watching from Bucuresti?
Sure.
Okay. Permítete mi să introducă colegii mei și Dominic Nieri în aparatii de fotografiat undrate. Da. Okay, we're good.
So, Dominic, you want to introduce yourself? Just tell a little bit about yourself. This, as I said to you on the phone, this is a new website that actually Max Ringelheim and his partners are developing, and it's just for this, a forum for discussion, and there may be some commercialization and other stuff that comes down the line, but it's kind of a new thing. So this is one of the test cases that Max put together. And so thanks for joining us and helping out here in the discussion and helping Max and his team as they prepare to launch their new initiative. And Vicki Byrne, you want to, well, first, Dominic, if you go ahead and talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, your relevance here, and then Vicki, if you would reintroduce yourself for Dominic's benefit.
Well, I have no idea. What to say. I mean, I'm Dominic. Live here in historic district Waukegan with my partner of 11 years, who's also in the military. Yeah.
Tell him thank you for his service.
I'll do that when he gets home.
That's always working, man. I'm telling you, it's always working.
Yeah, he's working today, and we've got a birthday party to go to today too. I don't know. Christian and I, we actually just got our partnership license here in Illinois, and we're going for the marriage thing once the politicians get up off their asses and voted in, so that we can start taking advantage of some benefits and money. But yeah, that's about where we're at right now.
Okay. And Vicki?
Yay! Well, I hope that definitely will work out. It will absolutely work out. My name is Vicki. My father is transgender. I work with GLBT and Q youth, and my goal in life is to make sure people become all they can be. And the football is on, and I'm like, go Patriots because I'm from New England, and go Eagles because I hate the Falcons. And yay!
So Dominic's an East Coast boy, and you know what? Hey, Vicki. So how would you classify yourself politically? Would you consider yourself a liberal or a Democrat? Where do you fall?
I'm a Democrat.
And liberal or progressive?
A little bit of both.
Okay. So I'm
in
like.
Between, I worked. I helped the Obama campaign several years ago. So I think the healthcare system needs to be revamped again without having to shut down the government again. But I think that we need to, work the healthcare system a little bit for people, especially that are lower income, like myself. I work 2 to 3 jobs, and struggling to get by. But yeah, I'm a little bit of both.
Okay. Well, I just
I don't interfere with government too much. They don't interfere with me too much. It's all good.
The only reason I asked was because I know Dominic, and he's pretty conservative, and Dwayne is pretty conservative, and I'm pretty conservative. So it's kind of unusual. I think most of a lot of people have these make these assumptions and stereotypes and everything, right? And it's quite surprising, I think, to many people to discover that there are a lot of folks, gay folks, who are pretty conservative. And me and Dominic and Dwayne, just in our brief conversation, this is the first time Dwayne and I have met. And boy, I'll tell you what, we're like lining up on 99% of and the views that I espouse. And Dominic has heard me go off on my rant about shit, so don't get me started.
I rant myself. I get up on my soapbox.
We're going, man. We're preaching to the choir.
Well, to tell you the truth, you guys, I think that most of the people that I have met that are gay are either, I know very few of them who would actually be liberal. Once we actually get to know each other and we start talking, exchanging ideas, I think there's a lot of them that are centrist, and there's an awful lot of them out there that are not necessarily liberal. They're libertarian, and maybe even leaning somewhat conservative libertarian.
Right. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of my limited experience. So, yeah. So, all right. So, anyway, let's draw Dominic into this conversation about gay rights, and it's kind of going along the same lines that our last conversation on this subject, Dominic. And I was describing some of what you described to me, but basically the necessity and or societal benefit to gay marriage and why it's even an issue. I started out by saying, as I had said to you and others, why is it important for me to know? And really, I don't fucking care. Don't fuck a dog. Don't fuck a kid, or I don't care. Just mind your own business.
Ruled out West Virginia.
Right? I'm sorry?
He said you just ruled out West Virginia.
I hate to say it, but he ruled out more than West Virginia.
I have too much other stuff. I'm not so concerned about what other people do socially or sexually. It just has no interest or relevance to me. I don't get it.
Keith, you would be surprised at how many conservatives do.
Really?
When we actually have people like Brian Brown, who is one of the leaders for the National Organization of Marriage, who will get in front of a crowd of people and describe the intimate details of the sex lives of gay and lesbian people. We're not telling him to do this. He's drawing us into it. I didn't come out to this position to where I consider myself what I like to call myself a rainbow warrior because it was necessarily what I thought would be the best thing to do with my life. It is now. But I feel like I have been drawn into the position that I am because I have been drafted.
Yeah.
I have had some people out there who are rapidly anti-gay have come out with, we are children of Satan. We want to rape their kids. There is no difference between us and pedophiles. The only reason that you want to be married at all is so you can destroy marriage from within and render us as... what is the word for this? As inconsequential as you. We actually had Brian Brown of the National Organization of Marriage fly over to Russia and praise Putin for his stance on trying to exterminate the gay community in Russia. It's not people like you, Keith, that we have a problem with. Like I said, I think you and I would be great friends, and this wouldn't be a big issue. I have also been at the point where I have been the recipient of some violence from people that would rather see me dead.
Yeah, well, I just don't get it. Yeah.
I don't get it either, and I don't get these people at all. How it evolved into this, I have no idea. But this is where... Hey, I've seriously considered that I have to because of my out and out stance. I'm not trying to push myself on anybody, but I'm no longer gonna take the ignorance and the bigotry lying down either. And unfortunately, it's because of the way that gay people are treated in society. And in the U.S., it's a lot better than it is in other countries. There are people that I talk to in Cameroon. I originally published my coming out story on Gay Star News, and I have received overwhelming letters from people in different countries that made me wish that I was a multimillionaire so I could fly over there and say, if you don't want these citizens or your children, let us have them. We have businesses, we'll raise them, we'll give them an education, let them turn out to be normal adults. In Cameroon, right now, I have a couple of young men who are so afraid of being gay that if it got out, they could be killed, and there is no law to protect them from it. 1 out of every 10 young men in Serbia is treated so horribly because of their sexual orientation that 1 out of 10 will commit suicide. In Russia right now, there is so little health care for gay people, period, under the rule of President Putin, that if you are ever infected with any sexually transmitted diseases, you are more likely to die than you are to see any kind of health care. It's not so much the rights issue that I am concerned about as far as our civil rights go, as much as I am involved with human rights cases.
Yeah. Wow.
And as an editor and publisher of the magazine online called the Vonvo.com, I have a whole section that deals with issues to the gay and lesbian community. I also tell people, it's like, why is it we have to know so much about you? Because I'm out and proud about who I am, and I don't want to rub it in your face. But at the same time, I feel like I could tell you right from the very start. You actually want to get to know me as friends? Guess what? I'm a gay man, and when I introduce you to my partner, it's going to be another guy. All right?
Yeah, but
there you have it.
But see, if you said that to me, I would say, okay, whatever. No.
Yeah, and that's the preferred response that I want. That's what I would love to see. I really would. That's awesome, Keith.
But here's what I would ask you is,
Yes.
why do you feel a need to tell me? I don't feel a need to tell you that I'm heterosexual. Why must I know of your sexual preference?
Because there's a lot of people. There are a lot of people out there. Go ahead.
Wait. So the inference is that you want me to care, right? You're telling me this because you want me to know, because you want me to care about what you do. And what I'm saying is, I don't
not
care
really.
And I never will.
No, not really. I mean, that's not my motivation. I've got several straight friends. I like to let them know that I'm gay right from the start, because if they have a problem with it, that means that they really don't want to have the friendship with someone who is gay. I understand that. I'm disappointed. But I think that it still is in this culture. I think that gay women are largely more accepted in this culture, even in Western civilization, than gay men are. And I don't know if it's because of this macho thing that we're supposed to be guys, and there's a lot of straight guys out there that see guys making it with other guys, and they're horrified because of it. I don't get it. I tell them, it's like, look, yes, I'm gay. If you want to be friends, it's going to involve my partner. It's not a big deal to me. At the same time, I'm no threat to you, and I don't want to be your friend because I'm after you. I like you as a friend. Yeah. That doesn't mean I want it to go any further than that. If we're good with that, I'm fine. Great. Hey, how about them Diamondbacks?
What about now? Are you a counselor for gay youth? Did I get that right?
Are you talking about me?
Sort of.
Vicky. You're a
I work with all kinds of youth, but yes, in a sense, yes. And what I wanted to throw in is just like, I absolutely agree. You want to just put out there, like, person, well, you're gay, and then that starts a discussion. I really do believe that we are here in America going forward in which every state will allow people to love who they love, whether it's man, man, woman, woman, because bottom line is love. And if you're a man and you're attracted to a man and you see not the gender but his heart, or, a female's heart, then it shouldn't matter. It just sucks that the government is involved in the process of marriage anyway, but it's true, like, Dominic can't get the same benefits because he's not legally married, but he's been with his partner longer than most heterosexual marriages. That doesn't make any sense, but we're moving in a right direction. We just need all the states to get on board and just see that love is love no matter what, and yes, born this way. It's not something where you choose. You don't wake up in the morning and go, I don't want to be gay today. I think I want to have sex.
I love to ask people, it's like,
you're born that way.
I love to ask people when they say, it's like, well, how do you know that you were born that way? And I'm like, well, when did you decide to choose to be straight? And they say, oh, I don't know, I've always been straight. And I'm like, okay, now is this making sense to you?
Yeah.
But, I am in support of gay marriage in particular because I think that we have tried everything in this country to go ahead and alleviate poverty in this country. And marriage is the social glue that holds a culture together. I think that the gay community has every bit as much of a stake in the marriage issue as the heterosexual community does. When you have two partners who are working together, and they both have jobs, and they can both file taxes as a couple, a lot of them, when possible, if they can legally get married, are willing to go ahead and adopt kids in this country through my research, which is found out, adopt children in this country whose parents are no longer willing or able to care for them. You have the biggest demand of kids who have no homes that are being raised in state care centers. The biggest demand is from newborns up to about age 5 from people that want to adopt. But the biggest need is from kids who are about 6 to 15. And most of them usually find homes with gay parents, either two men or two women. There are 400,000 of these kids across the country right now that are looking for homes that can't be placed because the same-sex parents that would love to adopt them can't. Because as far as the state is concerned, you can walk out of your relationship at any time. Well, that's not how I feel. If I get into a relationship, no, I can't walk out of it at any time. If it takes that little piece of paper to say that that's where I stand, then that's where I stand. But I also think that 56% of all marriages end in divorce anyway, and nearly 60% of those are in the Bible Belt. So as far as the Christian right goes, I don't see their access to this moral high ground argument. I really don't.
Hey,
Dominic, are you drinking a beer? I'm sitting there watching this bottle tip back, and I'm like, I haven't had a beer in so long. I'm on a strength training and martial arts program. I'm avoiding alcohol, but there are times I would love a beer. But that's a side comment.
Hey, listen, first, I want to kind of interject here. I want to thank Max Ringelheim and Vonvo.com for hosting this discussion, for creating this site. I think it's really great. I'm really enjoying this. I was talking with Max the other night and suggesting he had the ability for more speakers, but he pointed out that if you get more speakers, you get, the conversation just kind of gets jumbled. I think you might add one more, so there could be 5 speakers where you could have a moderator and then 2 people taking opposing views in a more of a debate scenario. I've been working with Max, testing this, helping him and his team test this for several months now, and it's really come a long way, and I want to thank him and wish him a lot of success. when they go to their more public launch and start promoting it as a service. So, and I'm actually thinking about using it maybe as a tool within my campaign, which leads me to segue and say I want to thank all of you because as the other audience members may not know, I am running for public office here in the state of Illinois. And so one of the things I like to do is to educate myself about issues. And that's why it's very important and valuable to me to hear your views and your perspectives, because I'm gaining knowledge and insight that will help me formulate my position and so forth. Dominic and I have had this discussion. Dominic knows where I'm coming from. Bottom line is I'm going to vote for gay marriage if it comes up. But nonetheless, I'm always interested. I consider myself to be a seeker of knowledge and adventure, and this is very important. So I want to thank you for assisting me by sharing your views and perspectives with me. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. And now that we are on this topic, I'd like to take 30 seconds and make another translation. I've gotten a text as to what we are talking about from my friends who are listening. So just give me a moment here, and then we can go ahead and move on. But okay.
Wait. Could you also
okay.
that to me?
What's that?
You also reiterate that to me exactly what the topic of conversation is.
We don't know.
Well, basically, what I'm saying, that what I'm telling them is that the topic has shifted onto the discussion of marriage equality and marriage rights here within the United States.
Okay.
I'm basically talking with friends of mine in Eastern Europe. Over in the Baltic states, which is where I come from, where I originate, and their English is limited. So that's basically where I'm going to tell them that we're at. But let me, okay. Pretenimaja, dyskutia incepe pe tema illegacji degasatori și drepturi in Statele Unite de Americi. Da. Okay. So, I mean, I think... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask then this next question. So, thinking about... there have been several instances where a commercial enterprise, a private business, has refused to provide a service to a gay couple, whether it be to host a wedding reception or make a wedding cake or whatever, right? So what would be your view on that kind of scenario where somebody, let's say the pizza store doesn't want to deliver a pizza to your house because they know you're there with your husband? What's your take on that? Private rejection, if you will, of gay partnership. However you term it.
Are you asking me?
I wouldn't go to that business. And I'd tell everybody that the business is crap and don't go there. And let's either find a place that'll serve or build a better business. So
Right.
you make even more fabulous cakes, or you have a better kick-ass wedding venue. But I'd make sure that place is shut down. I talk so much smack about it to everybody and lying and everything. Because that's wedding, right?
So,
I mean, what? Would you not serve me because I have black hair? I wear glasses? Screw that.
all right. So what about you, Dominic?
Keith, you know my feelings on a lot of things. There's a couple of things. It is your choice as a business owner as to whom you will and will not serve. That's one. Period. Secondly, if you go there screaming and hollering and looking like a lunatic about how the business won't serve you because you're gay or because you're black or you're Hispanic or you're cross-eyed or buck-toothed or whatever the abnormality might be or whatever the difference is, you're going to look like a lunatic, and you're also going to make an ass out of yourself. I'm not one to make. I'll make a scene if it's justified, but when you do things like that, it reflects poorly upon whatever the cause is that you're trying to. The point
I
is
agree.
to get across. Secondly, if it's an intelligent business, they're not going to care if you're green with purple stripes and everything that comes out of your mouth is
Right.
tune of a Broadway show tune. They don't care. It's
Right.
money. That's an intelligent business owner. So if they're stupid enough to not to pick and choose and who they will serve or who they'll cater to, then their ship is going to sink itself.
I agree.
So I'm like, okay, fine. You won't serve me because I'm a homo? Well, that's great. You can piss up a rope and I'll go somewhere else.
So what if there was legislation being proposed that a business could not discriminate or had to serve people regardless of their sexual orientation?
Well, I would go back to thinking...
I think that would blow up in our faces.
Yeah. What do you think, Vicky?
If government, I didn't get the question.
Do you think there should be legislation, or what if there was legislation being proposed that would make it illegal to discriminate in providing services or products based on someone's sexual orientation?
I believe that it should be legislation that a business or a church or a school or anywhere shouldn't discriminate whether race or sexual orientation or anything. I mean, that's one of the founding, guidelines that America was, drawn upon from what I gather. So I absolutely think it should be against the law. If you did go to a business and they wouldn't serve you because you're gay or because you're African American, I think that it should be against the law. That's not okay at all. But we live, I live in the Bible Belt and they just think differently.
Right.
And I mean, I hope that one day legislation that will happen. But I don't think it's cool to not serve because of your sexual orientation or the color of your skin.
So shouldn't those citizens have a right to their religious beliefs and tenets and so forth, and say, I don't believe in that, and shouldn't they have the freedom to make a choice not to serve someone that they don't want to? See, and
Yes, but religion has nothing to do with
Well, then, how do you actually equate that to?
Let me say this, because I think you're right where it comes to government. I think you're absolutely spot on where it comes to government. But I do think that as an individual, as a private person, we should be able to make whatever call we want. And whether we make a poor business decision or not, and blows up in the face, then that's the risk we take. So I would oppose legislation that said, hey, pizza store, you have to give, you have to sell your product to this guy and these people regardless. I would oppose that. I would oppose legislation that says you have to provide a service, you have to provide bed and breakfast for a gay couple if they want it, regardless of what your religious beliefs are. Now, I would be in favor of legislation that says, hey, City Hall, Park District, whatever government agency, you can't discriminate in any way for any reason. Absolutely equality under the law.
I would like to actually address a question that was put on the chat here by Raphael Khan.
Yeah.
Does the gay rights movement in America need to focus and lend support to those gay movements everywhere? I would say yes, and I'd like to translate that to my friends who are watching.
Yeah, go ahead. That's a great question, Ralph.
Let's see. Entre Baria et Charut Dorin in chat. Orare Miskarea Pentru Drept Turile Ge din America Trebuia Cha Concentreze Chisa Springine Aceste Mișcare Ge Peste Tot. Da, I agree. I think we should.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Vicky,
Absolutely.
I want to say one thing. Please don't think that I was discounting what it is that you would do. I apologize now that I reflect back. I have this problem where I don't think before I speak. Very big.
Oh, no.
With New Yorkers, we're like that. But I personally think that it's just like with America being the world's leaders. We need to focus on the problems that are here in the United States first, and once we overcome that, then we can go out and basically handle everything else. So if this is about gay rights in America, then let's fix it in America so we can have a proper model. What the hell
What is that noise?
Oh, typing.
Oh.
If it's a problem that we're focusing on right here and now in America, then let's fix it here in America so that we have a model to present to the rest of the world when we try and fix it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Versus trying to take on so much, it's like biting off more than you can chew to fix it, because there's a lot of people that have opposition out there for gay anything.
Yeah.
And then there are a lot of people that are advocates or proponents or whatever, and then there are other people out there that just don't give a shit.
Right.
So I would think that focusing on the problem here first
You're on camera, Dwayne.
would be
All right.
I've done it.
Sorry. Oh, the air is so dry down here. I'll use a Kleenex.
Yeah, Dwayne. Go ahead, Dominic. Dominic, go ahead.
no. I'm just saying. I think it would be. I'm not saying that I'm an advocate of what the hell's going on in every other country. I'm glad that I won't be shot in the face because I'm gay. Well, depending upon where I am, that's why I carry a gun. But I think that we need to focus on the problem here. If this is about gay rights in America, we need to focus on the issue here first. Fix it, get it right, and then move on to other things. Saying, look, that's my.
Oh, you got me some real breakfast. Thank you. What is it? Y'all see when I open it up.
Is that Sonia?
Yeah. Here's
Hello, gorgeous.
He can hear you.
You're on camera, Keith. It's about time we come up with smell-o-vision. You got real breakfast? Start forking it over.
Oh, man. This is great.
What is it?
So what did you get?
Some Thai food. And then here come
Ooh.
my kids. Of course, they want to know what's going on. What's really going on? Hey, dog. Hey, baby. Those are my puppies.
Raphael just asked another good question that I think needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
How should the USA or other gays and lesbians, how should the treatment in the Soviet Union during the next Olympics? I think what he means here is, how should the USA or other gays and lesbians treat the Soviet Olympics? I really have mixed feelings about this one. At the same time that I don't want to participate, I'm not supporting Russian products. I'm not supporting Russia in this venture at all. I find it horrifying to me, to be honest, that someone like Russia with such rabid anti-gay laws is actually allowed to host the Olympics, considering that this is a peacetime and Inglesa. Damn you people.
No, you're absolutely right. It should have, when they passed that legislation, it should have been pulled out. Boom, done. Because there are so many gays
Exactly.
that are involved in the Olympics, and they're openly gay, and there are a lot of people that travel to the Olympics. I would have, if I was the Olympic Committee or whatever the hell it is, they should have pulled out immediately and told Russia to go stick it in their ass. I'm serious. That is unsat. That is just, oh.
See, I agree with you because it's
yeah.
government policy. And
It's creating a hostile situation right there, especially if the Russian government chooses to retaliate, which I'm sorry, right now with America, Russia is treading on very thin ice to begin with because of everything that's going on with that schmuck that they're harboring. But it should not. They're going to have to do something to protect these people because let's say that when they're not participating in the Olympics and they're out blowing off steam, what's to say that they won't get arrested or stoned or I don't know, what the hell does Russia do?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, can you actually be charged with gay propaganda laws if you have some members on your team or happen to be gay and you're rooting for them to win? I mean, according to Putin and the chief law enforcement office of Russia, I forget what that is at the moment, and I'm trying to type at the same time. Let me scroll back. I'm trying to get this question because I think that this needs to. I need to translate this one as well. But I agree with you. Russia still got to host the Olympics.
Yeah, they should have been. It should have been pulled out. That's bullshit.
So
yeah, and let me mention here that that this was asked because it's funny that this came up at the same time because I just got the text. So I'm texting back here that I'm going to ask to pose the question. Okay. Pratene, întrebare în chat. Cum ar homosexuale, inclusiv Statele Unite ale Americii, trata Uniunea Sovietică în timpul jocurilor